Sure hope they have a lot. Look, shut up and sit down.
This is what they're telling you. I work with this man, sir. I also work with this man. Okay. All right, I'm with Austin Cop Watch. This is Aaron Dykes.
I'm not resisting. Very good, thank you. You want me to leave the building? That's fine. I'm more than happy to leave the building. You're under arrest.
Sir, you need to let me in here. I'm with Austin Cop Watch. Sir, we have an issue here, sir. I need to speak with a supervisor now.
Okay, so this is a First Amendment issue. Remember, under Bush, they would have town hall meetings and claim they were open to the public, but they would make you sign a pledge not to ask mean questions or that you agreed with Bush or Cheney. They would also go into parking lots and find anti-war bumper stickers and follow people in and arrest them. That was all over the news. Now, what happened is they had said that Karl Rove was going to give a speech at UT last night to a packed ballroom of over 500 people that was open to the public and free, no stipulations, and that he was going to have a question and answer. And the same thing that happened to me back in '98 with Bush when he was governor. They said they were going to have a press conference. The media was all there. He gave a speech, and they said no press conference. And at the end of his speech, I said, Governor, you know, isn't it the CFR, the New World Order, that's destroying America? Don't you want to fight that? And they had me basically kidnapped for an hour. They said I was arrested, drugged me out, put me in a car, drove me around. Now, they detained quite a few people, and no one disrupted, and Aaron was there. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Aaron didn't get out of jail until about 4 this morning. And so his video hasn't been uploaded yet, but we have some of the other folks that were there and have uploaded it. We were able to grab the audio quickly when he just got into the office. It takes longer to upload the video, so we can play some of the audio. But we do have some video clips. We just played one of those, and there's different angles that are up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. But the issue here is Aaron was quiet throughout the whole speech. He said thank you, and he was done. And before he said that, he said, you know, we weren't going to take questions, but I've got some prepared written on cue cards. Lord knows where they came from. Probably fake questions. So they'd said no questions, and they said, well, I'm going to answer some questions on cue cards. But they hadn't handed these out. This hadn't been public. And Aaron, after he says thank you, and is about to be asked questions off cue cards, Aaron brings up some important issues about the Downing Street memo, White House memo, that are declassified the last 4 years and publicly admit that the White House premeditatedly lied about WMDs. They weren't wrong. They didn't get it wrong. They knew they were lying. They even talked about, in the White House memo, shooting down a U.S. aircraft or getting it shot down or a UN aircraft to blame it on Saddam. And that's the Times of London Associated Press. But the general public doesn't know this. It never became a big nightly news item. And so Aaron went down there. Rob Dew went down there. Rob Jacobson went down there. I've been doing radio, TV interviews, and quite frankly, after 4 hours every day, that's why I don't go to many of these events. I'm just exhausted. But the guys wanted to go. I didn't say go. I said, do you want to go? And they said, yes. And I said, don't get arrested. But then they came up and grabbed Aaron, roughly, and started saying resisting. And that's coming up on some of the audio. And then Aaron's got to get some sleep today, but I guess tomorrow he'll be able to upload the whole thing unedited to YouTube for people. Because, again, it's easy to grab audio off something. We could just play it raw right off the chip, couldn't we?
Yeah, it's right over there, so.
Well, then why are we just going to do audio?
The way they have it set up, I'm not sure. But
so we can do both. I mean, see, the problem is I'm all doing the live radio show, so we're just having a debate about this right now because you guys had said we had the audio. Well, so we can play the video, too. Do we have it queued up to the point? Well, I'm going to cover news. Go out and have a meeting with them about that because I want to find out exactly what we're going to do, and then we'll find out. And we'll get Aaron's story here in just a moment, but it's better to just play it live since we're at prisonplanet.tv than wait till Aaron goes and takes a nap and then does it. But InfoWars journalist arrested, held for asking Karl Rove a question during UT appearance. And it says Aaron waited until it was question time, and rather than sit through the pre-selected controlled media questions, Aaron wanted to know about the Downing Street memo. And so Rob Jacobson stood up and shouted in agreement with Aaron. They then separately grabbed him. They were going to arrest him. So Aaron was in the University of Texas detainment area in the offices with the police. And I talked to him after he got out, and they were coming over to Aaron saying, we're going to charge you with resisting. So that's why it's in our article that they were going to charge him with resisting. They ended up charging him with something else because Aaron pointed out, this is all on video. You're not going to get away with this. And so, Aaron, we're going to play this video unedited for the first time. I haven't even seen this from your camera, what happened, but break down what happened last night.
Karl Rove is such a pernicious liar and manipulator of public truth, and he just staged the whole thing making comments about how this is his free speech and not the liberals, and then only after someone interrupts does he finally say, yes, there will be questions, after they said there will be none. But he says they will be from pre-written cards that are only for Democrats or Republicans, and you line up. And my question didn't fit into the category. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. And so the free speech was a fraud. They announced that they would be warning people for disrupting. They acknowledged that there were disruptors because there was Code Pink and other groups spread throughout the thing. And I was persecuted for reasons I don't fully understand. As soon as I outburst, they grabbed me by the elbow without warning me.
They were there in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, they were surrounding me, and as soon as they got the chance, they grabbed me by the elbow, jerked me back, and I heard the cops saying, stop resisting arrest. Is he resisting arrest? He's not resisting arrest. And so I had to defend myself out in the public and say, no, I'm not resisting arrest. I'm not resisting arrest. And the rest is on video. They dragged me back, and I was simply trying to ask Karl Rove a question, which I continued to do.
Now, we finished getting you guys out of jail at, about 4 in the morning, and there was another fella from We Are Change that we bailed out. But here it is out of News 8 Austin yesterday morning before Karl Rove spoke, and it says, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff Karl Rove will give a lecture at the University of Texas Monday. Rove is expected to talk about his time at the White House as former President Bush's top political advisor. Rove will also share his analysis of key issues the nation faces currently, including health care, the economy, and protection of individual liberties. And I have a separate article about the George W. Bush Center in Dallas calling for defending internet freedom and having a big conference yesterday. So they are now the freedom fighters. They passed the Patriot Act. They write White House memos about torturing children in front of their parents, burying people alive, killing them, raping them is good. They start cybersecurity that lets the feds take over the web. Obama's continuing that. Everyone agrees it's draconian. I mean, even CNET News calls it the end of the free internet. They're the ones that engineered this. Obama's taken the baton in this relay race, and then he's at UT, according to this, doing a national tour about freedom of speech, and then here they are doing this to you. I haven't had a chance to see his speech yet. I mean, did he talk about freedom of speech?
Oh, yeah, and he makes jokes about it and talks about how he's never allowed to speak. He's the one with the microphone, knowing that there's no microphone set up for audience questions, and he's not really interacting with the audience. There is no free speech if you don't like Karl Rove at an event. You can hold a sign. He doesn't care. He's been confronted over and over, at least a dozen times that I've seen.
He seems to enjoy it.
He laughs at them. He sticks his face in the window and makes, piggy faces. And he's disgusting. He's a war criminal. The blood is on his hands, but he's frankly not in touch with that. But that's not going to keep us from resisting that.
Well, he got caught. It's now admitted. They had to release him, setting up the Alabama governor, just lying and having an ex-con lie and put him in jail. And it turned out he made all the orders. I mean, this is a hardcore evil person.
But it's a total joke. They did nothing but shred the Constitution, and now that Obama's in power, they'll make issue of freedom of speech.
Well, they're going to ride back to power because, I mean, he was the guy that brought Rick Perry up to politics, and George Bush. I mean, he was the kingmaker for both, and he's the one telling Perry to say, Texas will secede. We're fighting the New World Order. Now I got to go to the Bilderberg Group in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Rove tracks back to so much dirty laundry, but the bottom line point is he didn't allow anyone to speak, and it's just a travesty, really.
Now, when I talked to Aaron after they'd arrested, when I talked to Rob Jacobson, after they'd arrested you, they were saying they were going to charge you, he said, when you were in the cell with him before they moved you to the Travis County jail, that they were going to charge you with resisting?
Yeah, in fact, I overheard some of the cops talking about how the other people wouldn't be charged, they would be sent home, but not this one. And I didn't really catch on what their specific reasons were, but they clearly signaled me out in the filing room and put me in handcuffs. Jacobson was not in handcuffs. Some of the other protesters who I didn't know personally were not in handcuffs. I was singled out, as was the other guy who was arrested.
I know you spent last night with this We Are Change guy, and we bailed him out, but we've since forgotten his name. I know you didn't get any sleep last night. But we'll get an article.